Anyway, the movie Gone with the Wind was playing, and it's quite lengthy. I believe it even has an intermission. But the projectors got so hot that uh, it caused a fire, and it burned the theater down to the ground. I remember watching from our bedroom window uh, the the glow of the fire. It was scary, and the noise of all the fire equipment coming down our street, the fire engines and the supplemental trucks. Uh, it was uh, it was a very exciting thing for me. Scary too because I didn't know what all was going on. Uh, so here we are in Yoakum, and like I said, uh, I was enrolled in St. Joseph's Elementary School, and on Halloween night, 1941, we moved from Yoakum to San Antonio, and we got to San Antonio in the dead of night, and I don't remember much. I guess I must have fallen asleep. But when I woke up the next morning, we were in our, our apartment on Mistletoe Street, and the first thing I heard was a guy coming up the stairs, and it was the milkman. They used to deliver milk door to door in those days, and the milkman would holler out, "Milkman," and the landlady would say, "Pound of butter," or a quart or whatever, and he'd leave whatever she would say, and we did likewise later on when we learned how to do that. Uh, I wish there was a pause button here, but there isn't. Uh, hmm. I know this must be very exciting for the ones looking at the first time and very boring. I remember when my mom took me to enroll me in the first grade in San Antonio at the what the heck was the name of that school? It was
St. Anthony's.
St. Anthony's Academy. It was a private Catholic parochial school, I guess, uh, but it wasn't a part of a parish. But anyway, I was the new kid on the block, and uh, the most of the kids in my class were from wealthy families, and they were kind of snobbish. They they wouldn't have much to do with me. As a matter of fact, on Valentine's Day, I had gotten a Valentine to give to each member of the class, and I didn't get a single one back from them. we had, uh, I guess they had a Valentine party because we were downstairs and there was music playing, and the kids were going round and round in a circle, and as I was somehow got in the middle, and they were kicking me as they came around, and that was a very traumatic experience for me, and shows how cruel rich folks can be. Or maybe they're just kids that didn't know better. So I was there until the summertime, and then we moved to the east side of San Antonio into St. Gerard's Parish. And that was like the difference between poop and ice cream. I really loved that parish. That was nice. I went, registered for school there. Everyone was nice to me, and I really enjoyed that. In fact, I graduated from high school there, and everybody wore uniforms in those days, khaki uniforms, and very military. And it was during the Second World War, and we were ROTC, and we learned how to drill and march and do formations like the regular Army, even though we were only about 8 or 9, 10 years old. And the wealthier kids had fancier uniform. I just had plain old khaki uniform with St. Gerard's shoulder patch, and the wealthier ones, that at least at St. Anthony's, they had the leather belts and what do they call the Sam Brown belt. That's what it was. And I wish I had a uniform like that, but we couldn't afford those luxuries. But when I got to St. Gerard's, we were all the same. It was just a plain old uniform with just a St. Gerard's shoulder patch on and a khaki tie. And no one wore sneakers in those days. If you wore sneakers, that means you were probably the poorest of the poor. And there might be one or two kids that wore the sneakers, but the rest of us wore regular Oxford, just what we call Sunday shoes. And being kids, we wore the soles out pretty fast, and they came loose. And when you'd walk to school, you were like a one-man band, because you could kick the toe of your shoe up, and the sole would flap, and so you could flip your hand on your thigh and go flip, flap, flip, flap, flip, flap down the street to school. And then when I guess my mother found out what I was doing, she got me some other shoes. But she wasn't happy that the shoes, the soles came loose so quickly. So I finally learned to wear the shoes where the shoes wouldn't wear the soles out. And everybody, when they got a hole in their sole, they got a paper and and folded it up and put it inside the shoe, and so it wouldn't leak. Uh, it wasn't very good, but just about everybody had a newspaper in their shoe.